All right, I was up here looking, under here looking at the fuel line, which goes, I don't know how much you can tell about what I'm looking at here. It goes from here, crosses over, goes into a rubber hose, but the rubber hose, I think, has the metal hose inside it. So I think all it is doing is acting as a kind of a padding to keep that from bumping up against the frame. But while I was under here, I was looking everything over, and I had commented earlier that I thought I had a transmission leak. But when I look at this, basically what I'm seeing here is there's grease here, but it looks like it came down from the overflow. It looks like somebody refilled this with grease. They put enough in there where a little bit ran down. I don't actually think that's a real leak. There's a little here, but not much. And there's a little bit of oil on the back of the oil pan here. But not much. And, you know, to be honest with you, it would surprise me if it didn't have a rear main oil leak, because almost all old motors do. But all in all, it looks pretty good. Let me turn the camera around so you guys are right side up. You know, the bottom of the oil pan's nice and dry. There's a little oil on that breather spout, but that wouldn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me a bit. I'll do a rundown of the frame. You can see why, if you're putting pipes on this babe, the pipes run through the frame cross member here. It's kind of like the old 48 Fords hasn't had an X member. This one has a member across underneath it here. It's quite sturdy, and it's in very good condition. I mean, rust-wise, it's solid as rock. But my pipes run through the frame there, and back through there. So I'm thinking that having pipes put on this baby would be pretty tricky, because they'd have to be made right. Looks like there's 2 hole connectors for them up there, one on each side. And like I was saying earlier, I got my hand on them. They actually feel pretty sturdy. On this side, this one does too. I believe I could get away with them if I could get that muffler loose. I believe I could get away with them, put me a new muffler and run pipes to the back and be good. Everything's good on this car. Everything's original. Everything's here. Here's my, this is the overdrive unit. These things have an electric overdrive that kicks in, and this is it right here. And I haven't even got to the place where I can start to think about whether or not that works and how it works. I'll get to that. So I guess with that said, I can get out from under here. I believe the next thing I want to do under here, that's a little rust hole there, but I remember seeing that. That's right under the driver's side, right under your feet. I noticed there was a little rust hole right there. So anyway, thinking first thing I need to do is probably just get the old gas line completely off it. Give me some new gas line exactly like it. Try to see if I can remake one as much like it as I can, and then piece it back on here. I love the idea of having an unbroken fuel line from end to end, because I've had cars with a rubber hose in the middle, and the hose would break or come loose and it'd spill gas all over the place, and it's a huge fire hazard. I've seen a hot rod go up in flames in about 3 minutes one time, and I know it can happen. And it's the last thing you want to do if you're driving down the road is have your car break a fuel line and blow out in flames. That would ruin your day altogether. Probably ruin your whole week. So it's funny, these old joints and everything are nasty looking, but they feel good when you go down the road. They don't feel like there's any looseness or anything in the front of the car, and everything they're connected to here looks good. In a way, I'd love to just pull this car apart. You know, I'd love to pull the front end off it, pull the doors off it, maybe even possibly lift the body up off the frame. Wouldn't that be fun? If I had enough garage to do it, I'd be darn tempted to do it. But the other part of that is that it's a drivable car right now, and it's tempted to drive. It's well enough put together where, with a little bit of love and care, you could be driving this to the car show next year. And I'm kind of leaning in that direction more than I am in a in a body off restoration. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. So I'll put the camera away again. We'll get back to work. I'll probably want to replace brake lines, rubber brake lines, and look at the metal brake lines and do all that fun stuff. That's on my list, but not for today.